Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've been shooting silhouette photography in my craft for over 10 years, and today I want to crack the door on how I create them. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Steve of Steve Selman Photography. Welcome to my channel. In this channel, we'll talk about the gear I use to create, we'll do shoot breakdowns, and we'll also interview like-minded creators. So join me in this journey. Let's get it. Let's start by explaining what silhouette photography is. I understand it by exposing a photo with a lighting source that is greater in the background of your subject than in the foreground, so you can achieve a silhouette naturally against the setting sun or even moonlight. But the main idea is to backlight the subject in your photo. I then apply these principles to studio photography. I start by rolling down a white seamless roll, and then using the light source to illuminate the background. Now, you can use various mono light modifiers to achieve this. When I first started, I used two inverted silver line umbrellas facing the backdrop. This worked fine for a while, but then I realized the light spread was not as consistent and controlled as I would like. So I switched to ungridded strip bangs. These lights are placed in a stereo configuration left and right of the backdrop. By the way, these same setups also work for video capture. I use Elinchrome's 500 watt mono lights at full power to ensure I get 100% white on the background. These are my camera settings for this type of photography. I'll put them up on the screen so you can see them. Of course, your settings may vary based on your lighting, power, and studio conditions. I angle the lights slightly down to the floor to be sure that I illuminate the lower parts of the photo, especially if the subject is doing floor poses. The only rule I give myself is that the subject should not intercept the direct plane of light from the strip banks, but only be lit from the light reflecting off the background. Now that I have set up the lighting conditions, I concentrate on the subject, and this is where your artistic value will be inputted. What I like to achieve is what I call rim light onto the subject. This light is the refractive light emanating from the backdrop on the perimeter of the subject. One thing to note is to have the subject create negative spaces within their body. What I mean is a space between their bent arm, neck, and other parts of their body. Another artistic metric I use is distance away from the backdrop. The closer the subject is to the light plane, the more light will emanate onto the subject, almost like a prominent gradient. The further forward the subject is from the backdrop, the more contrasty and darker the shot will be. Here's an example of the difference. These two methods I call reveal and conceal, using light as a sensor. You can definitely achieve full 100% black tones in your subject the further forward you pull them. Now, what I've explained so far is a two light setup. Another scenario we can achieve is with three light monos. Again, your creativity is always welcome in developing your own niche. I use a gridded 30-inch beauty dish feathered on the head of the subject, which gives a gradual fall off of light into complete darkness. You would do this for a beauty shoot where you want to see the subject's face, but not bring attention to their body. I also want to note that anything that is white or sparkling in your subject will kick the light back rather than absorb it. So I use this method to highlight shape, body parts, or jewelry in my silhouettes. Now, let's look at the editing process. Up to this point, we've been shooting in color on the camera. I use Adobe Lightroom Classic in my editing process, but most editing programs should have all the sliders that we will be modifying. Here are the settings I use. You can pause the video to see a screenshot of them. So the gist of the editing is to convert to a black and white image and add a lot of contrast to the shots. This will darken what's in the midtones and allow whites and shiny things to be illuminated. Playing with the white and black sliders, you can also fine-tune the mix. I also add grain in for some instances of texture. If you find that the floor is still too dark, I pull a stop or two of positive exposure gradient up from the floor to illuminate the floor. I also play with highlights to overexpose and add a bit of brilliance to the rim areas of the subject. And there you have it, my silhouette shoot breakdown. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment and I'll answer them for you. And again, please like, subscribe, and share this video so you can help my channel along and help me share more content like this. All right, have a good one.